Back again for another bankroll video. I've just recorded a 20-30 minute session there and I didn't have my microphone switched on, so to avoid that being totally wasted, I'm going to pick a couple of hands out just to talk through from the session and hopefully put a little highlights reel together from it. So without further ado, the first little hand we're going to talk about is on table 2 here, and we've got the ace deuce suited. So against a raise from later position from the cutoff here, this is going to be part of our 3-bet bluff hands. So we're going to look to raise this up to 4 times what the original raise was, so we're looking for 60 cents. Which is thankfully what I bump it up to. And we get a call. So with him just calling and not 4-betting, what type of hands are we putting him on? I'm putting him on things like 9s, 10s, jacks, maybe ace jack, ace queen, maybe ace king offsuit, and jack queen, jack king, those type of hands, jack 10, any 2 picture cards really. I'm pretty sure he would call with from that position versus a small blind 3-bet. So with this flop on the flush draw, as standard for me, I just like to check when I'm out of position and then sort of make a decision on depending on what his bet size is. So with the amount of equity we have here, I'm pretty sure an ace would be good for us, and we've obviously got the flush draw here. So I'm quite happy to check it to him and basically jam it over the top, because we can have pocket jacks, aces, kings and queens here. So when he does eventually bet, basically jam it down his throat, which I'm quite happy with the amount of equity we've got. And he could be doing that with anything really. He thinks for a little while and eventually he folds. So that's the first little hand, and I'll be back to chat with you when we get to the next one. So we're back for our second little highlight hand here, and we're looking at table 3 at the bottom, and we have pocket 10s, and we're going to get a raise from an early position raiser, and he bumps it to 2.5 big blinds. So a little bit of a decision to make. Do we 3-bet or do we call? And as you can see, we click the call button. That's more because we don't know the guy. If we have him tagged as a yellow, as a green, sorry, I would be quite happy to 3-bet this pre-flop, but because we don't know him and he's raised from early position, we just call. So he goes ahead and bets here, and we've got a decision to make. What can we get some value for if we think we're ahead? And this bet size half pot doesn't really scream that he's got a very strong hand to me. So I was quite happy here to get some money in and raise it up and get a little bit of protection against hands like jack queen, jack king, ace queen, ace king, basically any 2 over cards or any strong ace. So we go for a 4x-ish. I think I bump it up to about 45. Yeah, 4x-ish raise, which he calls. So when he calls, types of hands we think he can call with there. I would have thought a 6 would have blasted again over the top, and pocket 5s again I would have thought would have blasted over the top if he had over any of those holdings. Shouldn't have too many of those if he's playing a similar range to us from early position. Not a lot of 6s in his range, whereas from later positions he's got things like king 6, ace 6, suited ace 6 off, stuff like that, whereas from here he shouldn't really. So 2 overs, stuff like 7-8 might call, so he's picked up a pair with a draw now, and the 2 overs we discussed earlier. So I'm quite happy with this card to see this as the turn card. And we decide to bet again, and we just go for half pot, which I think is big enough to get rid of ace queens, ace jacks, stuff like that, ace kings, and we get the fold. So the third hand from this session we're going to look at is again on the bottom table on table 3, and we're in the big blind with pocket nines. So we've got this guy tagged as red. We think he's fairly sensible, playing a reasonable range of hands, not getting too out of line and being rather silly, which is what our red tag means. And he's 2.5 x'd it, and we will just be calling. So we're thinking pre-flop he should have a strong range, and we're probably going to be playing very, very cautiously unless we get the flop that we get here. So basically the plan here is, within betting 2/3 pot, is to rep the flush draw. So we're going to 3-bet this and hopefully get a call from him, believing that we're on the flush draw. So we bump it up to 4x and put 60 cents in. And get the call. So we go for the large overbet on the turn here, because if he's floated with his ace queens, we'll probably get a call from the queen, and if he's on the flush draw, we'll probably get a call from a flush draw. Unfortunately, as you saw, he folded. So we'll look for the next one. So this is going to be the final hand we're just going to talk through in the little highlights video here. On table 2 we pick up the pocket aces. You see he's coming with a 4-bet on table 1 as well. So he raises to nearly 3x and we bump it up to 60 cents and we get the call eventually. So same as last time, late position with 3-bet, and we're putting them on a similar range of hands. I would think pocket kings would get it in pre-flop, but he can call with the ace king, he can call with pocket jacks, he can call with king jack, he could call with jack 10, he could call with king 10. So same MO as last time, we're out of position. And as you know, I like to check my entire range out of position. So we do. And he comes in for round about half pot. So we're going to, same as last time, 4x that. Expecting to get a call from all the hands we've just discussed, and if he's got jacks, he'll probably jam it in. King jack, he would possibly jam it in too. And we get a call. It is not the greatest turn card. If he's got something like ace queen, king queen, jack queen, he's just made the straight here. But if we think about the full range of hands he's got, this could be him getting 2 pair. He could have called with ace 10, jack 10, king 10, and obviously he could have a queen in his hand. But at this point, there's enough value that we're in his range that we're beating, as well as him having the possible queen there for the straight, for me to decide that I'm probably happy to jam this in. Because if he does have a queen, we do have outs. And we get the bad news and get super lucky on the river. And river a full house. So let me know what you think about this last hand, if you think I've overplayed it. I'm pretty happy with it, and I was happy to get it in purely because there's enough value combos that he's calling with 2 pairs and spade draws and stuff, that I was happy to get it in on the turn to try and get value from your 2 pair type hands and your spade draws. And we were behind on the turn, but stacked the pot wise with him having £2 left in. I was quite happy to jam it, and we got lucky on the river. So please let me know what you think about that one, if you think I overplayed it or you think it was played well, and I think the next video I'm going to try and put together is probably another hand range video, looking at defending the big blind. So we'll probably put that together in the next couple of days and get that uploaded. If there's anything you'd like to see from us, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, drop a like in there, and thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.